everyone. I'm Caroline Rena on the Ride of My Life podcast, and very interesting things are happening. And I'm glad that that this morning there was an awareness for me, so I can kind of share this next poem, which is incredibly right on time, like it usually is, and right on target with what's going on. And if you were watching yesterday on my Facebook Live, I was talking about the types of people I can work with and what I do, and I talked about my Inner Peace Oracle again, and I'm walking through my own stuff, and part of it is being on this at this time in Colorado by the mountains, which are very healing, and I've heard similar stories of people who have come here to do healing work. And when they leave, like, their life opens up. And what's interesting is, I think anywhere where there's the resonance or nature, some form of nature nearby, but the difference between, like, when I was living in Florida, I had the beach, and I was at the beach for a couple of years, and it just really cleansed my soul. Here, the power of the mountains, the energy that they put out, and most of the time you don't even really know. Like, if you're in your own, if you're in darkness, if you're in your own space where you feel like you can't get out, the energy kind of makes things harder. It's really weird. When you're open to shifting and doing the healing work and going inside and finding the truth and knowing that there's something on the other side of that and being persistent about it, and there's a different energy that happens. And what I'm finding here is that this energy that the mountains give off, because, I mean, think about it, these rocks have been around for millions of years, so they've watched all kinds of things go on. So there's an innate power within that's very healing. I mean, if you don't believe that stuff, that's perfectly okay, but this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm experiencing, and this is what I'm sharing. So it's my experiment, my experience, and if you resonate with it, beautiful. If not, that's okay too, So anyway, what I am discovering, I went to visit, there's a place called the Garden of the Gods here, which is absolutely incredible, and I'm going to share some pictures at some point, probably tomorrow, of a hike that I did there Sunday, this past Sunday, a couple of days ago. And I don't know when you're going to be watching this, and that's okay, but I'm doing it at a time frame right now, so I'm in time, I'm in 3D time, and that's okay too. But you could be watching this 5 years from now maybe, and it's something that you won't recognize as far as the time frame goes, because time is actually circular, it's not really linear. And but right now it's linear because that's how we track our lives in this world. But anyway, I found this really cool sticker that resonated with me, and I was looking for something that had the word Colorado on it because I just wanted to connect a little bit, and a sticker is perfect, especially this one. So this sticker said, "Let the mountains free your soul." And I'm like, oh, so I had to get it. Anyway, so what I want to share today is, interestingly, I wrote this poem on August 29th of 2021, and I continue to do these poem talks based off of that journey that I was walking through back then. But what it's doing is it's coming around full circle, and it's really interesting to watch and see what happened then, what's happening now, and the similarities, but a different perspective. It's the coolest thing ever. It's like I've been writing journals since I was about 10 years old too, and when I go back and read them, it's like, I may have things come up that are similar to what happened with me in the past, but the difference is that I'm seeing it from a different perspective because I've done the healing work, and it's so incredible. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you what this is like for me. I mean, for someone who who's been traumatized, lack of nurturing, little, things like that. I was never physically abused, but emotionally and mentally, there's that trauma from not feeling loved and not feeling a part of my family and not feeling supported and not feeling, all these things were going on throughout my life. And it was like, okay, so I needed to shift all that stuff. And that's what I've been doing. And I've noticed that it's very important for there to be this, not only this connection with, as above, there's also a connection with as below, and there's a connection with as within. And the four directions and, whatever. It's like a blending. For me, it's a blending of all of the spiritual or like the groups, like the Native Americans, or even there's pieces of religion that's very, very, again, I've got forgetting words again because there's pieces of religion that fit in with the metaphysically piece, but we don't look at that because a lot of what happens in our lives, we've been taught, we've been trained, our brains are so much more powerful than we know, most of us know. And there's a science behind all this stuff, and there's a spirituality behind it all. And the two do go together. You just have to find it. And it took me a long time because I really didn't believe for many, many, many years. I was so disconnected from my own truth. I was disconnected from the universal truth. I was disconnected from all of it. And when there's no connection, there's chaos. And and the trauma built that within, and it kept it there because I didn't know what to do with it. I was so stuck in my head. I was so analytical about everything. And yeah, I can still be a bit like that, but I have dropped down into my feelings more because I couldn't tell what my feelings were, how I connected with other people's feelings. That's the highly sensitive part. That's the empathic part that got me confused all the time. But little by little by little, I walked through all this and found the answers. And I'm like totally thrilled, and that's part of why I'm here. And so anyway, this particular poem that I had written is called What a Day. And it kind of fits right in with what happened for me this morning, where I started to feel, I could feel in my body kind of shifting things. And when we start to embody ourselves, when we start to connect with ourselves through the body, where the body is the vehicle, where the mind is the passenger, and it doesn't tell you what to do. I let that, I allow that to happen now, where I used to have to think my way through and plan and do this. That's what we're taught. And it doesn't work that way. And when I'm not planning, things just happen to show up, and it's crazy. And I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. I don't know any, and it doesn't matter. What it is that it gives me the opportunity to follow this journey and be okay with whatever is coming next. And it is not the easiest thing in the world to do this. However, it's kind of fun trying it out, because none of the other stuff ever worked for me in my past. However, it made me who I am today, and it helped me to find the truth of that, who I am today. And that's what's important. So nothing that happens in your life is for naught. Everything that happens is for you to heal. They're opportunities. That's what I call them. I call them opportunities to sit with things that are coming up and learn how to release and find support to help you release things that you can't. That's what I've been doing, so, and now it's actually, I'm having fun doing this. Before it wasn't quite so fun. But I persisted, and now I'm in a space where it's like this connection that I'm starting to feel more powerfully with the powers that be, source, creator, with the earth, with myself, with, understanding why I'm here on this planet. And it just is so, I don't even have a word for it. It's so amazing to watch. I'm witnessing myself, and it's so incredible to watch. So anyway, what a day. So this has been kind of a couple of months, but it fits right in. So here we go. What a day it was. I didn't know my up from down because there is so much in the world going on, and there are moments when the word strong does not suit me at all. I felt I was running into a brick wall. I learned what I needed to know, that watching and listening online to negativity kept me out of the flow. I knew about this. I guess I just wanted to be sure. What I was engaging with made me feel obscure, like I lost myself and I couldn't maintain. I felt the world and all its pain. I had to stop and go deep inside and disengage from that crazy ride. As long as I stay there with the insanity, I will lose my center and see the inhumanity of the world as it flashes before my eyes. I could not run, I could not hide, until I made that firm decision to shut it all off and get it out of my vision. I knew the only way to get past this and keep myself from falling into the abyss, the way out of it was back inside, where I knew now is safety and I can provide the love to myself that the world cannot give when it is in chaos and needs a sieve. So all can let go and find that place within, to find our net worthiness, and then begin to understand more fully about ourselves instead of living in this created hell. We have the opportunity to know our worth. That is a right we've had since our birth. And let me tell you something that I know. Accepting ourselves is a way to get in the flow of life as it is in this moment so dear, where we can live in hope, not in fear. We can do this. I know we can. Just trust in yourself and come take my hand. We can do this together. We are all one, living heaven on earth. We have just begun. Whew. Okay, yeah. So being in that space is, and recognizing how, yeah, I can't even, that's like really blowing my mind, because that's exactly what I was feeling this morning, but I couldn't express it. And now I did, but it was over a year ago, or almost a year ago. So anyway, things are shifting, things are happening. We are inclined to be fearful about what's going on because we have been trained to be fearful, or we have been exposed to fear. And so our body, again, back with the body, our body will take over sometimes. And unless you work also on the body to heal it and make that connection, the body and mind and spirit all work together. And when you make that connection, it shifts things and it changes things. And I'm experiencing that. And what a beautiful experiment this is. And I'm so grateful that these things are happening for me. Even the stuff that doesn't feel good, I'm still grateful for it. And I appreciate the fact, because it's happening for me, so I can see what's going on within me and within my relationships and shift things. And I know I'm not perfect at that. However, I am learning that in the eyes of the universe, there is a perfection in all of it. Whether you want to call it the good, the bad, and the ugly, call it that. Because there's stuff there, but that's also a dichotomy, because what's really good to one person might not feel good to somebody else, and vice versa. So it's all different. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me weekly on the Ride of My Life podcast, Poem Talks. And I've got a few things I'm working on up my sleeve. But I'm doing, like I've said, on the, you know, some of the updates or the Facebook lives, my intros and stuff like that. There's shifting happening. I'm getting ready to leave Colorado, so I'm reconnecting with some people back down in Florida. So we'll see. I mean, I have no idea. I'm just leaving it up to the universe, and I will follow. And you know, I've been learning all kinds of things about how to take my next steps and allow at the same time, and take the step and then allow, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm hoping in some way you're getting something out of this, and you reach out to me. I can do a my inner peace oracle, which is actually my poems that I'm working on turning into a book to be used for what's called bibliomancy, which is kind of like you open a book up, and whatever page you turn to or whatever your eyes first hit, that's what your higher self wants you to see. And you know, look at yourself and find out about it or whatever. This is the next move. This is what's happening, or you've learned this lesson or whatever, you know. But I'm really excited about that. But what I'm putting out there is to do this oracle, and to get you started, if that's where you're at, to get you to find out where you are, if you're already on your journey, or as a healer, because I work with healers, it's also to find out what your next move is to break through whatever it is that might be holding you back. And these poems are really powerful, and I haven't had anyone who hasn't connected yet, which is kind of interesting. So it's kind of like a test for me too, to watch this. So if you have any interest in doing that, reach out to me on CarolineRena.com, and we can talk about what next steps to take, whatever. It doesn't matter. Only if you resonate with what I'm saying, that's important, because if you don't, then I'm not for you, and that's okay too. So, anyway, I think that's about it. I think that I want to say that you are amazing, you are powerful, more than you think you are, more than I ever thought I was. And there's life inside of you, there's truth inside of you, there's love inside of you that you get to find, and it's there. It just may be covered up a little bit, but there's a way in. And I can help guide that if you're interested. If not, like I said, it's okay too. But mainly I just love doing these poem talks and the work the stuff I'm doing online, because it's fun. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to the next poem talks next week and everything that's coming in the middle of all this. And hope you have a wonderful moment wherever you are. And I think that's it. All right. Peace.